Hey, everybody. Welcome back. All right. Welcome to Waxy Brown's Flower Power Hour. We're brought to you live from the Robust Cannabis Studios at K-Kid 92.9. We have got one heck of a show lined out for y'all today. We are starting our Smoky River Entertainment District party right here for the next 3 shows. I want you guys to tune in. I want to give a great big welcome to my co-host for these next 3 shows, the president of Missouri Growers Cup, Nathan Marsh. Welcome to the program, my friend.
What's up?
Oh, all of it, man. It's going to be a wild show.
Hell yeah.
All right. So, it's gonna be, man, we got all kinds of good people. Welcome back, Tim Harms. We missed you last week, baby. We got a lot to show you this week, man. There's been a lot going on.
I can't believe the lineup you got. And to get these guys back in studio.
Oh, we got the Cran Organics team in the house. What's up, fellas?
Always great to be here.
Yeah, they're right down the road having fun. So we said swing on through. Hey, all right, so check this out. We got a lineup that's going to blow your mind. You know, the Missouri Growers Cup's got to have judges, right? All right, one of those judges is Christy Gallagher, but as a lot of us know her in Missouri, that's Growing Healthcare. Christy's one of the coolest cats out there doing her thing on the scene, helping patients left and right through education. So it's really cool to have her as one of the judges. Nathan, man, how'd you make that pick, baby?
You know, it was I've been really honored to be able to meet a lot of cool people and gotten the information from you guys of who are the best people. You know, when I came onto the scene, I knew a couple people, but man, you've got a lot of great activists and people that are really making it happen. And yeah, I'm pretty much building my Rolodex.
Pretty cool, man. Well, we got a lot in store for your Rolodex here in Missouri, baby. We're the Show Me State, and we'll show you how we do it. All right, we also have Ben Hartley on the show. Ben is one of those activists and advocates out there who's been doing his thing on the scene for a long time. Been a good friend of mine. We don't always see eye to eye, so I love having him on because we get to sit there and talk about all the things that are cool to talk about and have a good discussion. So we dig all that. But check this out. My dude, he's also Maverick. He's going to be performing at the Smoky River Entertainment District Missouri Growers Cup. You'll be able to see Maverick perform live, as well as all kinds of really cool bands that we're going to talk about and interview over the next few shows. So it's going to be a lot of fun. And you guys can bet that I'm going to have a really cool veteran on today, okay? So check this out. So I want to give a big shout out to Missouri, to Smoky River Entertainment District and Missouri Growers Cup for inviting me to be their veteran voice and their co-host for the show. Pretty excited about that. But also that comes with some cool people too, like Vinny from Veterans Community Project. He's going to be on the show, and we're going to make an announcement about what's going to happen at Smoky Rivers, so at the Missouri Growers Cup with Vinny and the folks at Veterans Community Project. I don't want to give it away in the beginning of the show. I want Vinny to be able to tell you guys. So tune in. Another really cool thing, Nathan, you ready to give away some tickets on this show?
There you go. Yeah.
All right. Well,
we also have, I can do a little announcement that we're announcing tomorrow, but I think I'm going to pre-announce it today on the show. So
we love pre-announcements.
That's right.
We dig it. All right.
Hey, Waxy does pre-announcements on everything.
Yeah, I'm not very good at it. I'm not
We
very
don't tell them anything until it's absolutely the right time to talk about it.
No, Nathan, I didn't know you were even going to be on today, man. They just told me. They just told me. So we are going to give away 2 sets of tickets today. We're going to give away a set on the K-Kid side. We'll give you that phone number to call in. That's going to be at 420. And then we're also going to give away some tickets on the Facebook Interactive page. So make sure you guys are checking that out. Even if you're on the YouTube, jump over and check them both out. We do appreciate the views as well. So going to be a wild show. Everybody ready to rock and roll today?
Let's
do it.
All right. Let's get waxy, y'all. All right. So my first interview is going to be with Nathan. Nathan, we really appreciate you coming on the show today, brother. I like to ask my guests when they come on, I like to ask them one really important question, and that's how'd you find cannabis? How did cannabis find you? What brought you to where you're at today, brother? Because you sure are making some waves out there in multiple states and riding that culture. And we appreciate you as a culture keeper.
Yeah, man. So it really started for me with a tragedy. I was 15 and a half, almost 16, and my dad died drunk driving. He was basically drunk driving accident and killed just himself. And, you know, I was living in Denver, Colorado at the time. And this is, you know, before legalization. And I, was really upset that cannabis was illegal and it was a civil right, I felt like, but alcohol was okay, and it wasn't. So really, it was one of those things where I used cannabis to help me get through that as a teenager, and really, again, it kind of started my activism towards it. The next big thing that happened is when years later I was working running a call center for Nintendo's customer support in. I was basically in charge of their customer support division in Oregon, and also lived in Seattle, and because that's where their headquarters as far as the Nintendo of America.
Aren't they in North Bend, Washington?
Yes. Yep. Exactly.
I've actually been to their headquarters.
Hell yeah. Awesome.
I used to live in North Bend.
Very
awesome.
cool.
Yeah. So I kind of started, I knew the people that were doing the Seattle Hemp Fest, and I started joining up with John Sajo, who's the guy that got medical marijuana for Oregon in 1998. And so when 2015 came along and it was going to be legalized, we formed a nonprofit, and I was pretty much doing it as an activist because I was, running. I wasn't a grower at that point or anything because I was working with Nintendo. So kind of did that whole activism thing, and we started the first licensed Oregon Hemp Fest in 2015 with Seattle as the backer and supporter. And then we also decided to start the first Cannabis Cup in Oregon in 2015 as well.
Yeah,
9 years later,
we're actually in the cannabis industry. Seattle Hemp Fest was a big deal. The Hemp Fest happened all over the place. Well, it's a wild scene, man. And you guys were really trailblazing back then too, as we are now.
Yeah, and it was a protestable. It started as a protest to say, hey, if it's illegal and you want to arrest 10,000 people, then 50,000. And then for me, the other big change is, I started to do full-time cannabis events. As these events grew, I stopped working for Nintendo and basically threw everything and started, a company that just dedicates to doing this and celebrate bringing the communities together. And we've done, Canna Chef cooking shows in Arizona and Washington and Portland. And we've just done a lot, and we just love, bringing the cannabis community together that used to be underground. Now we can all, synergy and get that collective entourage effect of all of us. So,
you could live in a glass house if you wanted to right now, huh?
Yeah.
Right.
Nathan, I'm dying to hear if one of the Nintendo support responses was, have you tried blowing in the cartridge yet?
Oh, of course. Well, and this was, we were dealing with Nintendo Wii and stuff at that point.
Oh, wow.
So it was like, did you, throw it at the TV, or did the strap break? Come on.
See, I went to the other side, Justin. I'm like, okay, so did you sell cheat codes on the side?
Yeah, that's hilarious.
I mean, you gotta, because Mario wasn't really into weed. He was a mushrooms guy. So Nintendo's got to catch up a little bit. It's not a big deal. Yeah. All right. Well, before we go to our first break and bring on one of the coolest performers I know in Missouri doing their thing, Maverick, I want to ask you a quick question. With what you've seen, Nathan, here in Missouri, you've seen a lot of different cannabis cultures, and they are very similar in a lot of ways, but we all have our nuances. What does this Missouri scene look to you so far?
When I first showed up, it felt a little bit like I was from the future, because I'm seeing kind of like, or having a kid, your second kid, It's like you've already watched them go from 1 to 9 years old, and then now you're seeing somebody else be born. So I think for me, I see so much energy and the passion of, getting your rights back. That's really what, you're talking about, years and years of false, persecution and unjust persecution, I should say, for, you're a good example, right? Your history. Of course. And it's and a lot of people, and I actually feel honored that, there's people that did the Hemp Fest in Oregon before me that literally the guy was ran out of the country by the feds and had to go to like Honduras. And then I come in and I've got a licensing agreement, and I'm dealing with, the permit department with lawyers, and it's easy breezy. I mean, it's obviously stuff to deal with, but I wasn't, persecuted because, we finally broke down those walls.
Right.
So seeing you guys join the party it's amazing, and seeing all the love and energy that you guys have for it and passion. And again, that's what I believe, that the more cannabis we have for the planet, it's going to be a better planet. And you guys are, another step in that stone. So I like it.
Appreciate that, Nathan. That's awesome stuff.
Yeah. So the food market, you mentioned you did some stuff with cooking shows and so forth. Where do you see the food market right now?
You know, it's interesting because there's so many nuances and differences between edibles and cannabis, including its application and its effect. You know, you can't have a bad time off of smoking joints. At least I have yet to see that. But boy, you can sure eat enough to have a horrible time. So I think as the stigma goes lower and lower and we start doing more research, I think we'll start finding, we were actually talking about some products before the show that are going to be more specifically designed for certain things. And I think the digestible or drinkables and all that, I think it'll be more that kind of thing. And then I think the cooking cannabis, the trick and the secret of the trade, sorry guys, chefs out there, is that it's microdosing. If you do a chef party and you have a bunch of people, you really just it's got to be subtle. It's got to be a slight, you know, like the cherry on top, not like, hey, you're eating 100 milligrams in that pizza.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
That wild stuff.
So are people bringing the education along with the food in the environment? I mean, what's the vibe like that you create when you bring a meal?
Yeah, I mean, we did Canna Chef, which was a live cooking competition that was kind of like Top Chef, but with cannabis cooking.
Oh, cool.
And it was judged and hosted by Nungayu from Cooking on High and Netflix. He's also the host for the Growers Cup as well. I've worked with him for years. He's an amazing activist and comedian, and
we're excited that we're going to have Nungayu on the next next show, and it's going to be a bananas interview. I was wondering, we're going to get to it a little bit later, how you built this team that you built. So
sure.
For now, we are going to take a quick break though. When we get back, we're going to talk to Maverick and continue with Nathan about the Growers Cup, and I want to talk about a little bit of the history behind these cups, how we got to where we're at today, and why this one's a lot different than the other ones that we've seen out there. So I appreciate you guys listening. Nathan, we appreciate you co-hosting today, brother.
Hell yeah. Glad to be here.
All right. You guys are listening to Waxy Brown's Flower Power Hour, brought to you live from the Robust Cannabis Studios at K-Kid 92.9.
following winds. Reveille is finally available. Learn more at getyourshipright.com.
At Robust, we think it's only right you know how the flower you enjoy is cared for and grown. Our process begins by hand-selecting premium genetics for our mother plants. The plants are then cloned and grown to become the strains offered by Robust, like Cali Raisins and Brunch Punch. One of our core growing principles is feed the soil to feed the plant. That's why everything on our facility is grown in living soil, a unique combination of beneficial microbes, worms, and nutrients. Our plants are grown in a high-tech greenhouse built specifically for cannabis. We use the sun's natural light when it's available and supplement with premium LEDs when needed. Every pot at Robust is hand-watered and cared for by individuals on our team of passionate cultivators every single day, so there's always eyes on the plant. Not only that, but Robust is the only kind certified facility in the state of Missouri. Think organic, but for growing cannabis. After 8 to 9 weeks in the grow room, depending on the strain, the flower is ready to be harvested. The plants are chopped and hung to dry in a humidity-controlled room. This process is what brings out the aromas and flavor profile of each distinct strain. After 10 to 14 days of drying, the trichome-covered buds are ready to be cured and set aside for trimming. Once our team hand trims and manicures every bud to remove the imperfections, the cannabis is meticulously weighed and put into our iconic Robust Red, fully recyclable packaging and heat sealed to ensure freshness. And that's what you're about to try now, because even though you know Robust cannabis is sustainable, organic, and all natural, you can't understand the hype until you try it yourself.
Attention veterans. Do you identify with one or all of the following? Do you have a bad back and bad knees? Have you ever been constipated from eating MREs? Have you ever done an officer's job for them? Have you ever pissed in a Gatorade bottle? Have you ever almost died in a 150-degree porta potty? If so, then you are entitled to tickets to this event. With your hosts, Paul Wall and Guy Yobi Lum, Waxy Brown, and Cannabis, the 2023 Missouri Growers Cup and Veterans Appreciation Event. Get your free tickets at vettix.org while they last. September 23rd, just outside Kansas City at Smokey River Entertainment District. Come join Waxy Brown and other veterans at this unique event. Space Force is welcome to attend as well. Bring the aliens.
At BesaMe Wellness, we're all about supporting the health and well-being of our community. With a wide selection of locally curated medical marijuana products, we'll help find what works best for you. Don't have a card? Let us help navigate the application process. And if you can't make it to one of our 5 convenient locations, we'll even deliver to your door. Visit us in-store or online at besamewellness.com.
The secrets of Kung Fu are founded on 5 elements. Focus, remain like a cobra, ready to strike. Energy, be like a volcano, overflowing with energy. Endurance, be as water, continue to flow, matching the vibe.
Huh?
Get in the zone. Getting weird, let your freak flag fly high. Wait, this isn't the secrets of Kung Fu. It's what happens when you take Captain Crossfade. Party harder for longer with THCV and CBC. Take it with THC and
Hey everybody, welcome back to Waxy Brown's Flower Power Hour, brought to you live from the Robust Cannabis Studios at K-Kid 92.9. All right, we've got a great show going on so far. Welcome to the show, my co-host Nathan Marsh, the president of Missouri Growers Cup. Appreciate you helping us along with this Smokey River Entertainment show. I want to welcome to the program one of the dopest artists doing their thing in Missouri today. We've got Maverick, a.k.a. Ben Hartley, on the show. What's up, Ben? How are you?
Going on, everybody?
Hey, what's up, man?
Man,
So,
I've been watching the program for a minute, man. I'm super excited about this program, and I'm stoked about this Cannabis Cup coming up.
yeah, isn't it wild? So that's what I want to say. First off, I want to say, Ben, I've followed you for years and years, and I owe a lot of the energy that I've had over the last few years to folks like yourself and the folks that you're around. We've been at all kinds of crazy events together, and we've just done a lot of cool things. And I just want to say thank you for your years of advocacy and activism, because you do other things, man. It's not something that you have to do. Nobody's paying you a paycheck to do what you do. So I want to say thank you from the bottom of our heart here at the show for giving folks like us the energy we need to keep doing what we do.
I appreciate it, man. Yeah, it's definitely an issue that's been near and dear to my heart for a long, long, long time. And as the other guest was talking about his experience with cannabis, it made me think, back when I was a kid, like dreaming about doing stuff like this, dreaming about being in the cannabis world and doing the music I do. And it's just crazy to see it coming to fruition, all these years later.
Yeah, you deserve it. So that's what I want to ask you. I ask that question to a lot of my guests that come on. What was your path to cannabis like, Ben? How did it come into play in your life, and how does that affect you as a musical artist?
Oh man, I was first introduced to cannabis at 10 years old. I became a daily smoker by the age 13.
Right on.
And it was right around that time that my parents put me in rehab for pot. So I think I was the youngest person to ever go through that rehab program at Shawnee Mission Hospital here in KC. And so I've had like this kind of up and down relationship with cannabis all these years. I got back into it in my teens, and it was around the same time too, 10, 11, I got introduced to hip hop and just fell in love with and relating with hip hop and found an outlet there. So cannabis and hip hop, man, like the two things. And around the age 18, 19, I stopped smoking. I stopped using, I stopped partying altogether, about kind of sober, if you will, for about 10 years. And then my dad was diagnosed with stage 3 cancer. At MD Anderson. He's, in full remission, thank God now. So he's cancer free. But I stumbled upon the documentary film, What If Cannabis Cured Cancer?
Right.
You guys, if you haven't seen it, it's on YouTube, and it's a phenomenal film.
There's a series, correct?
Well, it was a film that was produced back in the early 2000s or mid 2000s. I think 2000, somewhere around that time. And I was confronted because I had gone full circle, man, because I had so much trouble with cannabis, law enforcement, and my parents getting on me, and just stuff at school. And I lost friends over it, and so I kind of went full circle. And I was a prohibitionist for a season, believe it or not.
Wow.
And but then my dad got sick, and I got confronted with the reality that cannabis is medicine. Started looking in the research. I'm like, it's undeniably it's a medicine, and undeniably everything I've ever been told, and everything we grew up hearing in our generation was a complete lie. So here I'm watching my dad die. And the chemo, the radiation, the fentanyl they had him on was making him sick. And I'm thinking, here's cannabis, where people are claiming to be cured from it, and it's helping them get through chemo and radiation. And so that started me back in my journey into cannabis myself. And ever since then, really, and shortly after that, I became an advocate, man, and started advocating in 2016, helping out with some ballot initiative campaigns in Missouri to get it legal. And ever since then, I've just been kind of tapped into it. And it's brought me to this point, man, where I'm on the radio with you.
I dig it. I dig it, man. Because you can talk about cannabis being legal all you want, but it really takes people showing up and putting their feet in the dirt and being where the conversation happens. And a lot of that happens at the Capitol and other places. And that's one thing I commend you for, Ben, is being everywhere where that conversation seemed to have been. You were there at first, even like we were following you with your cameras, and like it just seemed like you were almost like our roving reporter for the activists, and like we were like watching intently. So what a journey, man.
But remember, we talked about is his energy. That's what brought everything to the table. Everywhere you went, it was your energy. And
it's funny, man, because Mayor Lucas of Kansas City. I went out and bullhorned his office right before the election, and I kind of suspect, I've been getting on his ass for years about stuff.
On his butt, Ben.
Yeah. Oh, excuse me. I went on his
They allowed to say ass on the
Okay,
air.
we can say ass. Okay, we're good.
FCC forgiveness. But no, I guess I got his attention because he's been giving me shout outs, and stuff. And I saw him out not too long ago, and he's like, "Hey, Ben," and I'm like, "How do you know me, bro?" But yeah, I'm, and that's what it takes, Daniel. It's what it takes to get people's attention and drive the conversation home.
Yeah.
Sometimes it takes, that brunt force, if you will, to get the ball rolling. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I made a lot of friends and some enemies too, but my heart has always been to end prohibition, man. I mean, just like you guys. So
That's love. That's love. So I want you to take the more difficult step here and answer the second question. How does cannabis and the and your art, your music, the performances that you do, the records you record, how do those work together hand in hand for you? Because we're going to get to see that live at Smoky River Entertainment District, and we're all really excited to have the show.
Well, I've got several cannabis themed songs I'm going to be performing, so you definitely don't want to miss that.
Right.
I'm putting together a pretty awesome performance. I'm not used because I do these live streams, man. I'm not used to this.
Good save.
Yeah, no, it's always been integral, man. It's always been. I mean, when I'm posting them in the studio here, I'm smoking.
Yeah.
You know, and the same could be said with psychedelics, but we're not quite there yet.
Oh, we're getting there, baby.
We're getting there.
Yeah,
but,
we got Grand Organics in the house. They used to work with Mario in the mushroom game, so we're good to go. Hey, Nathan Marsh, I got a question for you, buddy. President of Missouri Growers Cup. You've thrown down a lot of these events, man. You've seen a lot of these talents. You excited to see Maverick live?
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey,
yep.
Let's go.
Absolutely. No, it's a great lineup, and and it's awesome too that we can have it. I mean, that's one thing I will say. That you guys are doing a little bit better is that we can't have public consumption. It's against the law. Now, I will say that like the Hemp Fest that we do is a big camping festival, so people can smoke in their private area, and they might smoke anywhere else. I don't know, but you know what I mean. But it's you guys are doing it and making it happen, and I really appreciate that. That not everybody's thinking in the same box.
Yeah. It's bananas to see Missouri coming so forward. So we just had to give a big giant shout out to the BesaMe hospitality team for doing Smoky River Entertainment District, period, much less these giant shows. Ben, have you been out to Smoky River Entertainment District yet?
Absolutely. I went out to the 420 Fest, and man.
Oh, right on. Yeah.
It was an absolute riot, man. I had a great time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had 8,000 people descended on that little area there at Smoky River Entertainment District, the world's largest consumption lounge that I'm aware of. And man, we had such a wild time. And I'll tell you what, guys, the energy in that place, you guys were all there. The energy in that place was one of celebration, one of vibrations, and one of knocking down prohibition with a giant baseball bat. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I remember doing some games, and then Mike Tyson walks by and all this other stuff, and I'm like, man, no, I mean, there's just too much stuff to do here. It's like it's so cool. It's like, wow.
Yeah, wild. So Maverick, are people going to be able to get anything? Be able to meet and greet before or after the show with any of the artists like yourself?
I'll be there, man. I'll be there all day.
Sweet.
So I definitely want to link up with people and network.
Yeah,
and it's gonna be a lot of fun.
I'm really looking.
Is
forward
it technically a meet and greet or meet and dab?
It's a
what
meet
is
and
it?
dab. It's a meet and dab.
It's a meet and dab. Okay.
Definitely. All right. Hey, do we need to take a break, Steve? Are we good to go? We're good to go. Okay. All right. Let's keep talking about them for just a second. So let's talk about for a second, Nathan. I want to talk about maybe some of the cups that you've done in the past. So I've watched the Hemp Fest folks do their thing, and it's been a lot of fun to see. What are you guys bringing to this event? Because I heard Canna Games. I know we're doing the veteran thing that we'll talk about later. But what are you guys bringing that's unique to other cannabis cups?
Yeah, I think the foundation of our cup really is the integrity of it. We were started by a group of activists, and from the beginning we were like, we've seen these other cups, and we just wanted to do one the right way. Really think about it, and also make sure that it wasn't something the sponsors could buy. they weren't going to win. We did blind judging. And then the other piece really that was important is the community piece and getting everybody together and making that fun and exciting. And in Oregon, we've got a group called the Last Dab Standing, and they are awesome. They've been doing this for a long time, and it's pretty elaborate, but basically, it's like who can smoke a gram of dabs the fastest, and it's crazy. Yeah. And, and I've seen some.
Before we go further with the can of games, are the artists like Maverick allowed to enter the games?
It'll be interesting. Probably not, but that might be fun. We should talk about that actually.
Okay, yeah, I'd like to see.
Hey, Joey did say I could smoke on stage though, man. So
okay,
you're good to go. All right.
Hey, we're not gonna chain you down, man. You could even cuss on stage, I think.
Okay, good.
A shot at us here. Hey, so you guys have. I want to talk about the can of games for a quick second.
Sure.
We have the Last Dab Standing. You guys have any? What are the other can of game stuff going on?
Well, one of the fun ones that I like, and also we have the smokable ice sculpture too. That's going to be
of course you do.
Yeah, but and then we in Oregon we do it around December. We have a can of Santa. But the games, one of the funnest ones that I like is you bring people up on stage and you have a joint to mouth, and basically you have to have the joint on your forehead, starts on your forehead, and you have to get it in your mouth without using your hands. And watching watching people,
while it's lit, not while it's lit.
Oh no! But it's that you can't use your hands. So
the Cran Organics guys are dark, man. both of them at the same time. Is it lit?
Yeah. So anyway, just we do fun interactive stuff. We also have bud pong, where you're it's like beer pong, but you're using a bud.
You have to throw the bud into a liquid or into a bowl.
No, just a cup, a solo cup. No
okay.
Liquid.
Okay, cool. Yeah, if you got a good dense nug, can we bring our own? Like, can we train with?
Please bring your own. Yeah, please. No. You guys should all be training. We're gonna make this like Survivor, and you guys will.
Go ahead, Steve.
Waxy's gonna have some ping pong ball looking like a bud.
Yeah, I'm into it, man. Hey, so Steve, I know for you they've got the joint rolling contest, right?
Yes.
You guys have one of those?
Oh man.
Oh yeah. Yep.
So, what kind of papers do you? Is it your choice?
He's already. He's going to start training. He's going to train. He's going to train. Watch.
Yeah.
We'll be providing the papers, so they'll probably be raw.
Yeah. Is it a regular size paper, oversized? I mean,
regular. Yeah, king size.
Hold on.
King size. Okay.
We've got Maverick trying to raise his hand. What you got, Maverick?
I was going to say I could win the blunt rolling contest all day long, man.
I can't save my life. I can roll 5 blunts before I can roll 1 joint. I'm not good at that.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, we can video that and we'll show it on a later episode after the challenge. If you guys want to do a blunt rolling competition between the two of you, I'm in for that.
I mean, I'll go head to head against Maverick.
Nice.
On StreamYard.
It's funny about muscle memory, man. I hadn't rolled a blunt in like 10 years. And I whipped one out and I peeled it, and it was like automatic. I'm like,
He said automatic. It's still all over the back of my car. Like I'm just kidding.
So on this joint rolling contest, are there any like obstacles? I mean, like is Steve going to be required to be driving down the road rolling one?
That's not safe.
Well, I'm not saying that he can do that, but I'm just saying.
Oh, got you. I mean, like, I think you just have to roll. I'm sure there'll be.
So is it a full?
You got to use a hula hoop. A hula hoop while you're rolling.
Right. And is it cigarette style? Is it cone style? I mean, what's
Steve's still a little sore because last episode of Flower Power Hour we learned that they discovered the best joint ever rolled was a cone, and he got really mad about that. He's like, "That's not a joint." Like
you don't roll a cone.
Roll a cone.
Yeah, you pack it. So, but anyway. Yeah. No.
But it's going to be a lot of fun.
Another fun one that we do is you got 2 plates of one with Skittles in it, and you have a straw, and you got to basically suck the Skittles and move them to each plate. Just how many you can do. So little fun.
Sounds pretty fun. And there's an egg balance thing, right?
Yeah, the egg balance. Yep.
Okay, that's gonna be a fun.
Does that make a difference? Should I have been doing that from the jump?
Yeah, absolutely, Ben, but it's too late now.
My goodness. Can we start the show over, guys?
That's not going to happen.
We'll fix it in editing. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, it's not live.
It is definitely a live show, guys. That's why we don't curse. Okay. All right. What a wild time. All right, we are going to cut to a break. We're going to get our thoughts together, and when we get back, we're going to have Christy Gallagher from who's Growing Healthcare is going to be on the show. I want to give a big shout out to Ben Hartley for being on the show. Ben, I want to have you back for a whole bunch of other stuff because we can have a lot of cool conversations together, man. And I dig where we're going.
Oh yeah.
All right, make sure you guys check out Maverick on their socials. Where can they find you at, Ben?
I'm on Spotify. It's M-A-V-R-K, Maverick. I'm on
That's
Spotify,
right.
Instagram, Facebook, anywhere, really.
That's right.
MySpace.
Yep.
And you guys are going to catch them live at Smokey River Entertainment District for the Growers Cup, where we'll also have a lot of other cool folks like the headliner Paul Wall, as well as 77 Jefferson. We got Making Movies, If I Die in Iceland, all kinds of cool cats. And it's going to be a good time. Oh, Soul Rebel and the Beast, man. Those guys are cool, too. Got that reggae tip. Steve, you're going to be there, right?
I'm not sure.
Oh, we're going to get
we
you.
got 2 festivals going on that weekend.
I'm going to expect you on stage, Daniel. I'm going to expect you on stage.
Yeah, Daniel.
My hype man, bro.
Oh, I'll be there, baby. I'll get you hyped up, man. I'm co-hosting the event. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm really, really blessed to do that. But, yeah, I'll come up and hype you up. Don't even worry about that. I mean, it doesn't take a lot when you got the level of talent that Maverick throws down. It'll be a wild time. Thanks for being on the show, Ben. We'll catch you next time. Folks, you're listening to Waxy Brown's Flower Power Hour, brought to you live from the Robust Cannabis Studios at K-Kid 92.9. Hey everybody, it's Waxy Brown from Waxy Brown's Flower Power Hour. I'm excited to talk to you about Missouri Growers Cup happening September 23rd at Smokey River Entertainment District, hosted by Ungayo Beelan from Netflix's Cooking on High. I'm excited to team up with the Smokey River team and the Missouri Growers Cup team to highlight our veterans at a time when our veterans need highlighted most. As a Navy veteran, I was taught that if one shipmate was sick, the whole ship was sick, and I believe that to this day. We have a responsibility to help our veteran friends and families, and Smokey River Entertainment District is doing just that. We'll have speakers for you and projects that are going to highlight the need for more cannabis access for our vets, and are going to bring you up to speed on what's happening now in our veteran communities with cannabis. I'm excited to see you there. Now, my veterans, run over to vettix.org and get a free ticket while you can. I appreciate all y'all. Stay waxy, and I'll see you September 23rd at Smokey River Entertainment District.
Robust, we think it's only right you know how the flower you enjoy is cared for and grown. Our process begins by hand selecting premium genetics for our mother plants. The plants are then cloned and grown to become the strains offered by Robust, like Cali Raisins and Brunch Punch. One of our core growing principles is feed the soil to feed the plant. That's why everything on our facility is grown in living soil, a unique combination of beneficial microbes, worms, and nutrients. Our plants are grown in a high-tech greenhouse built specifically for cannabis. We use the sun's natural light when it's available and supplement with premium LEDs when needed. Every pot at Robust is hand-watered and cared for by individuals on our team of passionate cultivators every single day, so there's always eyes on the plant. Not only that, but Robust is the only kind certified facility in the state of Missouri. Think organic, but for growing cannabis. After 8 to 9 weeks in the grow room, depending on the strain, the flower is ready to be harvested. The plants are chopped and hung to dry in a humidity-controlled room. This process is what brings out the aromas and flavor profile of each distinct strain. After 10 to 14 days of drying, the trichome-covered buds are ready to be cured and set aside for trimming. Once our team hand trims and manicures every bud to remove the imperfections, the cannabis is meticulously weighed and put into our iconic Robust Red, fully recyclable packaging and heat sealed to ensure freshness. And that's what you're about to try now, because even though you know Robust cannabis is sustainable, organic, and all natural, you can't understand the hype until you try it yourself.
At BesaMe Wellness, we're all about supporting the health and well-being of our community. With a wide selection of locally curated medical marijuana products, we'll help find what works best for you. Don't have a card? let us help navigate the application process. And if you can't make it to one of our 5 convenient locations, we'll even deliver to your door. Visit us in-store or online at BesaMeWellness.com.
following winds. Reveille is finally available. Learn more at getyourshipright.com.
At BesaMe Wellness, we're all about supporting the health and well-being of our community. With a wide selection of locally curated medical marijuana products, we'll help find what works best for you. Don't have a card? Let us help navigate the application process. And if you can't make it to one of our 5 convenient locations, we'll even deliver to your door. Visit us in-store or online at BesaMeWellness.com.
We are back. Welcome back to Waxy Brown's Flower Power Hour, brought to you live from the Robust Cannabis Studios at K-Kid 92.9. All right, guys, we are back with Nathan Marsh of the Missouri Growers Cup, and that's happening at Smokey River Entertainment District, September 23rd. It's going to be a bananas party, and we're going to talk all about it for the next 3 shows. So I'm super stoked to have Nathan here, man. Hey, on the Facebook Interactive side, I just saw you were holding up a big cup. What was that?
Yes. This is one of the cups that we give out.
I think it looked like the NHL trophy,
right? Fancy.
Bigger. Man, that's wild. Snoop Dogg drinks like his lemonade out of that. I think I'm not even sure. But
I know it should be filled overflowing with cannabis, but it's at my house, so you know.
All right, so I want to talk a little bit about what's happening over in Kansas, since I got the Cran Organics team in the house.
Yeah,
we got both your headphones working now. We good to go? All right, cool.
Testing 1, 2.
Right on, man. We had We had Alex just headphoneless for a minute there. He didn't have any idea. I was like, Alex, you believe in such and such? Yeah.
I believe in it all.
Whatever
Everything.
It was, yeah. All right, so I'm going to talk. Nathan, you ever go through? I'm sure you have in all your travels and all your days of doing what we do. Have you ever had to deal with Kansas very much?
Yeah, actually, my mom lived there in Wichita for a while, and so I was going there quite a bit, and I may have accidentally brought some cannabis legal stuff from Oregon there. I don't know.
Yeah.
I hate when I accidentally do that.
I know. You get on the plane and you're like, what? Did this make it with me? No.
Right. So if you're here in the studio right now, raise your hand if you've ever been stopped by Kansas police and been worried about the cannabis in your car. And Steve, you never? He's like, no. And I don't.
My camera's down.
I don't want to talk about it. So everybody pretty much has either dealt with that or had somebody that has during Prohibition dealt with. How many hands are you lifting up? Tim's been stopped a lot.
3 times in Kansas.
Okay, all right.
I have a story.
Oh, let's hear it. Let's hear it.
When I was at the University of Kansas as a student, I had a couple ounces in my glove box.
Right.
And a vehicle backed into me. So it looked like I rear-ended them, but an SUV backed into me. And then I was struck with a dilemma of my life. Do I call the police?
Yeah.
Or do I not?
Yeah.
So I called the police.
Snitch on yourself. That's a rule.
I did call the police, though. Luckily, I didn't get in trouble. They didn't search my car. It was just a formality. But yeah, it was very, very scary. I didn't know what to do at the time. So I called a friend and had them come pick it up for me.
Yeah, see, it is scary. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say that's sketchy.
Yeah, for sure.
I was going to say all the flower I was smoking back at KU as well was seeds and stems and bricks. So I don't know if it counts, but I think I probably could have gone to jail for it.
It counts. You could go to jail for that.
Well, and now Lawrence and Douglas County are both decriminalized.
Right. So there's a lot of change happening in Kansas, but
whether on the books or just by the DAs not prosecuting.
Right. So here's a little issue that's happening there. So this is actually pretty wild. Looks like the Kansas cops are going to have a little bit more of an issue dealing with harassing us as a culture. I'll just be frank about it. Here you go. A tactic known as the Kansas two-step. You guys ever heard of this?
Is that a dance?
It is a cop dance that we did not know about that they were doing, okay? It's a tactic known as the Kansas two-step that's been used by the State Highway Patrol for years to detain out-of-state motorists long enough to find a reason to search their vehicles for illegal drug. And as they say, it violates motorists' constitutional right against unreasonable searches, a federal judge declared on Friday. All right, now senior U.S. District Judge Catherine Vreidel also notified the patrol. Now, this is the district judge. She notified the patrol that she's ready to impose changes in its policy practices and appoint a special master to audit its work for the next 4 years. So this judge, I just assume that she's probably been stopped by the cops, maybe. I don't know. But the changes would include a requirement that troopers specifically inform motorists that they stop, and they have the motorists that they stop, that they have the right to reject a search or to revoke consent for one at any time. When under the two-step, patrol officers could avoid telling motorists they were free to go. So it was a step they were leaving out there, was the part where, hey, you don't have to, but can we search? So they would literally waste their time and find reasons to search. So the judge issued a scathing 79-page order in 2 separate lawsuits filed by the American Civil Liberties Union on behalf of 3 motorists and 2 passengers traveling in 2017, 2018, and 2019 from neighboring Colorado, which has legalized recreational marijuana use. The judge concluded that the patrol targeted motorists traveling along I-70, we all know I-70, to and from states that have legalized from the medical or recreational use of marijuana. Kansas has authorized neither. Now, we all know, now that Missouri is legalized, we could talk about it. Most of us out here, a lot of us anyway, traveled through Kansas to Colorado to go get cannabis. That's what we did. That was the thing then. And it doesn't make any sense now that we're legal, Colorado's legal. You're the only ones tripping still, Kansas. Change the laws. It's kind of, and they're trying. I know that there's a lot going on, and I know you guys are privy to all that. With the two-step, troopers finished the initial traffic stop. Okay, that's what this is how it goes. They finish the initial traffic stop, issuing a ticket or a warning, and start to walk away. Now, this is the two-step part. Then they turn back to talk more to the motorist. That allows them to keep looking for grounds for a vehicle search or to buy time to get drug-sniffing dogs to the scene. Now, the judge said the patrol has, quote, waged war on motorists. And she said, the war is basically a question of numbers. You stop enough cars, you're bound to discover drugs. And what's the harm if a few constitutional rights are trampled along the way? So that's done. They're not going to be able to do the two-step anymore. So, but it makes me wonder, like,
I bet they come out with something else. The three-step.
The three-step. Man, nobody wants that.
I want to say something about this too that I think is pretty impactful. Because when one of the things that I found out was that a lot of people in Kansas will have their medical cards in Missouri because you guys allow out-of-state residents to get their medical cards. So this isn't just an attack on people; it's also an attack on patients and people that need this as medicine. And you're criminalizing medicine and people that need it, and it's insane. I mean, one of the big reforms I want to see eventually is that you can have cannabis in a hospital. Because even here in Oregon, you're in a hospital and you need pain medication, they're going to give you the opiates. So
there was a huge case in Kansas. I think it was Christmas Eve. There was a gentleman who was terminally ill, dying of cancer.
Was it in Hayes?
It was in Hayes, Kansas, very hazy. And he was arrested, and originally they were going to charge him for consuming I think it was an edible. Maybe he had a vape cartridge or something. And there was so much anger and outcry that they didn't end up charging. But could you imagine that Christmas Eve you're dying and all of a sudden you're trying to have a little bit of comfort in the last moments of your life, and instead of allowing that to happen, they handcuff and arrest you.
Right.
Merry Christmas. We covered that on the show too, and it was really sad because they actually ended up ruling in the guy's favor, and by then he had passed away.
Yep.
So it was kind of a bummer, man. But that's why we do what we do, right?
Yep. Absolutely. And it goes
over.
Justin, can you read off a couple of those comments you've got there on the Facebook there? I saw one that
I got so many. I don't know how many I can read, but we got Ben is saying in Israel, every cancer patient has an option to use cannabis provided by the hospital.
Israel was the very first place I ever smoked weed.
Wow. Israel?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Crayon Organics in the house.
They're really leading the way in some of the scientific research on cannabis too.
Absolutely.
It's awesome that they're doing that. Yeah.
The ultimate irony for me with the whole Kansas thing is when I was a bouncer in college, I know you guys are shocked, 6'3", former lineman as a bouncer, right? But I knew every cop in Lawrence, Kansas, because I was the calm-headed bouncer that was always out front. And those guys would tell me stories of when they were going to school and throwing bottles off of balconies and the bricks that they'd smoke in a weekend and stuff like that. I'm like, how are you guys cops? Like, you're doing worse stuff than I am. Like, I'm just a guy who likes to get
Where were
drunk
you
on
a
the
bouncer? Which bar?
I used to run the door at the Hawk, and then I also DJ'd at Jack Flanagan's Bleachers behind McDonald's on 23rd. And then I used to smoke weed and sit at the back door at Dos Hombres and just kind of sit in the back alley, and that was it. So it was
the Boom Boom Room has a special place in my heart.
I didn't have to dig that out, so thank God for me.
He was also a chef at the Waffle House.
Yeah, I did.
Right.
All the time. I'd be in there at 5 in.the morning making my own fries, and they didn't like that, so they threw me out.
It's kind of interesting. I was just thinking in my head here while you guys were talking. It's interesting to see how many people, because a lot of us are from different parts of the country, been all over the country. It's how many people have been affected by these laws in Kansas and this aggressive movement and all that. And then that reminds me of how that's because it's in the middle of the United States, and so are we. And so it's important for us as activists, as ganjapreneurs, like all of us are, it's important for us to remember that everything that we do here, everybody sees it. And everybody sees us because they have to travel through here, above here. They come here for their vacations. So it's important to remember that we also went under the same restrictions that Kansas went under, currently under, and we need to continue to fight and talk about it as advocates. But appreciate you guys coming on the show too from that aspect, because you cats are from Kansas, but you're doing crazy things over here. I can't wait to see what you guys do in Kansas when it legalizes. Like, come on, man! Like, that's going to be banana.
I always love the theory that, you pluck a guitar string and then one next to it resonates the same frequency. So right now you guys are that frequency and it needs to spread. It's spreading to Minnesota, right?
Yep.
It's going to keep spreading. It's going to be amazing when the whole U.S. is basically legalized what the federal government won't.
Greetings, Earthlings. I am Zordak from the planet. Actually, never mind. You humans would never find it. So forget it. I am here for your leader. The one they call Waxy Brown. Our endocannabinoid scanners picked up a strong THC level. I bring you the following intergalactic greeting. This is K-Kid 92.9, Salem, Rolla. You may continue broadcasting while Fendork figures out the teleporter problems. We will beam you up shortly. Zordak out. End transmission.
At this time, I'd like to recognize the production value of Route 66 Labs, who handles our online presence.
Very good.
That's bananas, bro.
Hey, Justin, how stoned were you when you thought of that one?
I actually wasn't. I was completely sober, and it was Waxy's idea about 20 minutes before we went live. So, yeah.
He
we
wanted
do a quick turnaround at Route 66 Labs.
Yeah, that's right.
Usually how we operate.
Dude is fast, man. Hey, so let's talk about for a second. Let's bring it back to this cup. Nathan, I want to talk a little bit about how much time do I have before I need to take a break?
I'd say about 23 minutes.
Oh, cool. Do we have Growing Healthcare on yet, Justin?
Not yet.
Okay, cool. We'll get with her as soon as she jumps on here. So I want to talk a little bit about this cup. It is going to be a lot different than any of the other cups. How is the judging going to happen with this thing, man? Because Nathan, let's be real quick, okay? And that's that a lot of people don't have a lot of faith in a lot of these cups that are out there because, like you mentioned in the beginning, cups can be bought through sponsorships. They can be influenced. They can be, and I know that Smokey River Entertainment District wouldn't be teaming up with anybody unless it was solid. So, what is it that makes this that cup?
Yeah, well, I think one of the things I would say is that, we've refined the process over 9 years. And one of the big cornerstones was the blind judging. So the judges don't see the strain or farm name. The other thing is that a lot of cups don't look at it realistically because there's a couple components to the cup, but the main judging of our official judging, they have the product a week to 2 weeks to judge. And that was the other thing is, we've had to develop panels because, for example, you can't give judges a big bag of edibles and then also expect them to, in Oregon, we have over 300 entries to give you an idea. So you have to look at the logistical issues and manage that. And over the years, we've done, different things to kind of hone our process and our trade craft and really just, making sure that the wheels don't fall off, that it's being done the right way. We actually have accountability for our judges too, where, because in the beginning, I think we were kind of making some of those mistakes in Oregon where we'd give them too much. And, or like, for example, John Sajo, he was one of our principal judges. He was basically our supreme judge because he was kind of the Gandalf for getting, everything legalized in Oregon,
right?
And through his nonprofit efforts. But he's an older guy that doesn't dab. And originally we had given him dabs to judge the first year, and we realized, well, this ain't working. So I think it's a little bit of being able to understand where you're failing and how you can improve every year. And so really, what we're bringing to Missouri is something that's been, hand sculpted for 9 years and done and figured out where the problems are. And a lot of the times, other cups just don't have that experience. And that's the bottom line is they haven't done it that way. They haven't gone through a lot of the trial and error that we have.
So that was going to be my next question here. You say trial and error. It has taken a lot of honing this in. What would be a couple of the things in the beginning that you guys tried maybe didn't work out?
Yeah, I think, the People's Choice was one of the things. So in Oregon, we do it as a membership. And, the People's Choice. So, for example, if you're entering flower in the Grower's Cup, it's going to be blind judged, as I mentioned, but it's going to be judged on taste, look, smell, and high, right? And those are 4 categories that we give 5 points each. So a perfect score would be a 20, okay? Now, some products, the look doesn't make a difference, right? Why are we judging look on pre-roll? Now, what we did see, though, is that we found that some people were putting pre-rolls. A good example is we had a great pre-roll that was put in packaging that smelled like ink because it wasn't done right. And so literally you've got a pre-roll that is sitting in this very pungent ink smelling carton that didn't work. And that, you know, was something we had to judge on. So, you know, little things like that, learning, you know, who's you know, doing the judging. Another one we found was that, you know, CBD was a tough one because, you know, really we had to switch that to patients because, you know, a lot of people, if you don't have inflammation or something that you can visibly see has an effect by CBD, if it's, you know, being judged, you need somebody that actually has, you know, is a patient that can judge it correctly. So, you know, picking the right people, having the right panels, and then the people's choice, I guess I didn't even get to that, but the people's choice was, you know, finding that if you have somebody come do an event, you can't give them 30 items to judge. It's unrealistic. You can't give them 50. You know, you really got to narrow it down to some of the top. And really, like for our Oregon Cup, we may have 6, 7 flower on the judges, you know, box or whatever for the people's choice. And what we tell them is, hey, judge it on look and smell first, then go to the ones you want to taste, and then really grade the high on the ones. So it is hard because you need time. You can't just smoke 5 bowls and grade 5 of them on high. It doesn't work that way.
No,
so
yeah,
so I think so the big thing really, a lot of the cups just don't have realistic parameters. You know, they're not. It's not a big party where we all can just eat a bunch of barbecue and tell everybody which one's the best. It's got to be thought about more in depth than that. So
I got to party with him more often if he's going to eat barbecue and smoke a bunch of tree. That's me. I'm in.
Yeah.
Hey Justin, the link I'm sending Christy for Growing Healthcare isn't working. Or do you have her info? You can send the link. Oh, we got her.
Well, I've got her on the screen already. It's
cool. I was really.
I'm here.
All right. Hey, I'd like to welcome to the program one of the judges for the Missouri Growers Cup. That's Christy from Growing Healthcare. Christy, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yep, now I can hear you good. Hey, so
okay, awesome.
Christy, I always like to start the show off when I talk to my guests. I always like to ask them the same question, and everybody here on the show has answered it. And I want to hear yours. What was your path to cannabis? How'd you find the plant? How'd the plant find you? And because what you're doing nowadays is not only growing wonderful cannabis, which I know you are, but also spreading the information, education, inspiring. How did all this come about? How did cannabis enter your life?
Yeah, so my story is a little different than most people. I did not grow up in a cannabis family or anything like that. I actually grew up and was actually homeschooled in a very conservative Christian background. So cannabis was definitely a big no-no, and you know, you were going to hell if you participated in the devil's lettuce type of mentality. So you know, I was an adult when I discovered the health benefits of cannabis, and that kind of came to me because of some health issues I was having, some health issues my family was having, and I kept coming back to just CBD. And it was around the time that the Farm Bill was being passed, so it was a lot more in the conversation with hemp and CBD being part of all of that. And you know, I had a lot of fear and anxiety, like I don't want to be anything to do with that. You know, I'm not a, you know, pothead, blah, blah, blah. And just all the stigma that had been ingrained in me with the miseducation that I had been exposed to my entire life, not by anyone's fault. They didn't know either. But it just was not there. And I didn't have anybody advocating or telling me otherwise. So I never questioned it. And so when I was going through these health things, you know, started with CBD. And as I was researching, I could not wrap my head around how can this plant be bad when there's so much other positive, like we're talking about one molecule that's outlawed, and it did not make sense. And I could not wrap my head around it. So I just kept researching and studying and learning and became very passionate and became a full cannabis user as an adult. And immediately my health improved, my mental health, my physical health. You know, and I didn't have any severe issues. Thankfully, I'm a pretty healthy person, but you know, just from that point alone, I was able to use cannabis as medicine. And then I, you know, kind of as Y.I.P started to grow, obviously, it's expensive and I can't afford to go to a dispensary to support my needs, quite honestly. And I wish that was different. I wish I could say that I could, you know, I wish that I could say it was affordable for everybody, but right now it's not. So you know, as the legalization happened and cultivation became a possibility, you know, I studied up on that. And the other thing I could not understand was the legalization. And I felt like I had been lied to my entire life because of the propaganda. You know, realizing that one molecule out of 1,000 is outlawed is ridiculous. And, you know, when you compare it to any other food, any other plant medicine, there's just no reason for it. And logically, if I can't wrap my head around it, I'm going to keep circling until I can, you know, figure it out. And so that really kind of motivated me passionately just to kind of start speaking out about it. Like, why is nobody talking about this? I don't understand why this isn't something in the world I lived in the conservative Christian background that I came up in, and you know, just normal life person. I didn't have anyone around me that was telling me otherwise, so I didn't question it. And so, you know, I started looking at cultivation because I watched the movie. It's a documentary on Netflix that came out, I think, around 2018. And that documentary still, to me, yeah, that's a good one too. But, you know, Weed the People is a documentary about how cannabis medicine is used to help patients. And there were several stories of these patients who were desperate for medication and they could not get access. You know, and I was watching this and I was like, if I was that person's mother, I would be growing it in my basement. Why are they not? You know, I don't care about the laws at this point. You've got to save your kid. And so it just stuck with me. And I kept thinking, well, you know, it's expensive, you know, so I just kept wrestling with this whole idea. And when I finally decided, you know, I want to start cultivating, that was a big driving factor because I kept hearing the voice of why not? Why not grow it? Why not help people? Why not? If I can, why not do it? And so that's really why I stepped into it. You know, as far as the social media side and influencer, I had no intentions of actually doing anything like that. Again, that just kind of evolved. I chose the handle Growing Healthcare on Instagram so I could remain anonymous. So that backfired a little bit, but
I was going to say, that doesn't work for you.
So Christy, one thing I want to ask.
So here I am. Yeah.
Yeah, and we love that you're here. One question I want to ask you. Today's conversations in healthcare, a lot of it really arrived around the mental health conversation. When I say the words plant therapy to you, what does that mean to you?
The whole plant, using every bit of it in every way. So, you know, I don't just consume cannabis in one form. I think that you have to have the whole plant. So when you're looking at plant therapy, you're using plants as medicine. You're using it to support the body in its own ability to heal, because that's what we need. You know, the endocannabinoid system supports balance in our body. And if that system's out of whack, the whole body's out of whack. So plant therapy to me is using the whole plant to serve a purpose. You know, from ingesting it as food. Every day I put cannabis in my smoothies. Every day I consume it in CBD and THC. You know, I'm trying to get the whole plant into my body because I know that it is supporting my body's ability to do what it naturally needs to do.
Do you brush your teeth with it?
Yeah, I do.
I have an infusion. No, it's in my toothpaste.
Yeah, that has something in my teeth there.
No.
All right, so Nathan Marsh, I got a question for you, man.
I'm glad you asked because I want to say something too about.
I want you to go first.
Well, I want to say, you know, Christy really, she just listening to what she just said, you can kind of see these are the kind of people that we want as judges. You know, these aren't, you know, people that have this, you know, big corporation somewhere doing this. These are fighters and people that understand the real benefits. The other big thing that I want to point out that I feel like is, and it's one of my common preaching points, is to really understand the full levels of that plant therapy, because the mental health you can get with some of that low level smoking a joint, right? But if smoking a joint cured cancer, nobody'd have cancer at this point.
Right.
And that leads you all the way down the spectrum to the other end, which is RSO, or full spectrum, full plant extract, which is really what you need to really combat some of these big, you know, cancer and that kind of stuff. And the amounts that you have to take are very specific, and they're it's a lot. You know, I know a guy personally who was worked at a cannabis lab, and he had a golf ball size tumor right under his armpit, and basically was taking about 1 to 2 grams, you know, a day of RSO, which is an incredible amount for a normal person to digest, which is why a lot of the medicinal ways is to not even ingest it for, it's the word, what's the word where you put it up your
suppository.
Suppository, yeah.
A suppository.
We're boofing it.
Yep. And I've literally
say boof on the radio. We're good.
There you go. But I've seen people walk into a bathroom that have been living with pain, throughout their life and come out crying because it's the first time they haven't felt pain. Yeah. So anyway, I want to point out that if you really are interested in the medical benefits, this is not a easy thing. It's quite intricate in the details, and you want to really, find somebody that knows what they're talking about and get good information and find out what's the best thing. And including CBD, and there's just such a wide range and spectrum of health and mental and physical health that can be applied using FICO and edibles. Somebody just commented, so
that's where
anyway,
it's
that's the piece I want to say.
I want to remind everybody, if you're on the Facebook Interactive, we're going to give away 2 tickets to Smoky River here, a set of tickets on the Facebook Interactive page, and then we're also going to give out the number to K-Kid, and when we tell you to, we'll tell you how to win those tickets here at 4:20. We're almost there, so it's going to be a lot of fun, and somebody's going to win some good tickets. So,
and these are going to be VIP tickets also. So we're going to be giving away some VIP tickets. And then somebody mentioned that they might want to be a judge. We do have a VIP choice, is what it's going to be called, a VIP choice. That'll be a separate ticket that you can get, and that will give you the access to do judging on site the day of. And then our last little piece is we are going to be rolling out soon a statewide dispensary people's choice as a separate category. So even if somebody doesn't enter, because that's one of the problems is if you can have the best product, but if it doesn't enter, it doesn't win. So we want to make sure that if the state wants to say, hey, this is an amazing product that needs to be recognized, we want to give away a trophy for that.
Right on. Make sure you guys are tagging folks over there on Facebook. I'm watching over there. You guys make sure you tag.
Hey, Nathan. Yeah. Who do you have judging the suppository category? Because I'd like to volunteer Waxy Brown.
No.
Yeah, Waxy Brown. Yeah.
Not it.
Waxy Brown Eye. It's not happening. It's not happening.
That judging live on stage. Live on stage for that one.
So I gotta ask you.
When are submissions due?
Go ahead. When are submissions due?
So
if I want to submit an edible, when is that due?
Yeah, the submission deadline right now is September 9th. And then all the way up to the 16th. We'd like it by the 9th, because if it hasn't been screened for pesticides, then we have to have it screened by a lab, which is another thing too, that
been tested in a Missouri lab, then we can just submit one of our packaged edibles. Is that?
Yeah, you just basically submit it to BesaMe Wellness.
And then what about a product? If I want to submit a product that we're not currently manufacturing, but we have.
Stop bragging, bro.
Yeah.
What is the process for that?
As long as
if it's not tested in the Missouri labs, because we're not manufacturing it currently. But are we able to submit something like that to you?
Yeah, you would. Yes, you would. Yep, 100%.
I'll have to get with you afterwards.
Yeah, and one thing too, I will just point out as far as the labs is that in Oregon we decided very early on that we weren't going to use labs stats as part of the judging process. So if the lab tells us it's 9,000%, we don't really care. Because sometimes the labs aren't right and there's some kind of weirdness.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes
we've had them come back at over 100%.
Yeah. So the other thing is, our big core thing is just making sure that our judges, that we have a responsibility for our judges to make sure that we're not giving them stuff to judge that's been, has pesticides. Yeah. And we have had people fail that and have to be pulled from the competition. So,
yeah. Sugar High said, "What's up?" He said he's on the. He said he's in Sugar High. Those are some good edibles too, man.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, good stuff. It's honest. Like you've been around the states and back. Both a lot of folks have. But Nathan, you've had your footprint on a lot of spots. We do find that there's just a lot of really good edibles out there that aren't on that legal market, man. From the brownies down the street to some good gummies to what.
Well, so not to cut you off, but in Oregon,
no, you're good.
One of the big issues is that, and this is actually something that I have because I'm kind of carb conscious. So a lot of, if they're all sugar based, and you're, unfortunately, you're faced with, hey, I don't want to mess with my blood sugar, but all these edibles are just sugar, 90%. So I think that in most of that, the savory market's kind of been missed, and that's I think, it's unfortunate, but what we found is actually in Oregon, there's some guys that are killing it that are making, basically for the people, and it's kind of underground and black market, but they're offering that, the fresh, I think what's the Greek dessert that's real baklava, and just stuff that's like stuff you just can't get in a dispensary. And I'm hoping that as years progress, we'll get that to where we can make that more legal, and it doesn't need to be underground because it shouldn't be, right?
Well,
But
one of the reasons probably for like the baklava is expiration, because it has to be made in the lab, made in the manufacturing facility, sent to the lab, wait a week, get your test results, and then sent to the dispensary. So stuff just expires.
Yeah.
So we have a fun product coming out that's going to kind of circumnavigate around that for cookies. We have a frozen cookie dough.
Nice. Yeah, I think that it's just like
that.
Yeah, if regulations are making problems, we just need to make solutions. And maybe
hold on, Nathan. I've had this show for almost 3 years. Repeat that sentence again.
Yeah. If regulations cause problems, then let's make solutions. Right.
Yeah.
I think, well, and like, for example, you have a taco truck. It doesn't mean the health inspector's there every time you make a taco and testing every taco.
Right.
So I think what needs to be done is a similar thing. You register the kitchen, you make sure that they get inspected, and you do, random testing to make sure that they're doing what they say they're doing, and then let them make pizza and hamburgers and whatever else they want to make.
Amen.
All right, we got just a couple minutes here before the 420 giveaway. You guys are gonna win some VIP tickets out there. That's some wild banana stuff right there.
So what number that like if people want to call in?
Hold on a second. We don't want to get
867-5309.
Yep, that's the one.
That's the number.
Because they'll start calling right away. I know how this works.
I know,
man.
that's why.
And it'll wake Steve up. We don't want that.
There's somebody dialing that number right now, and they're going to get hold of Jenny,
right.
and they're going to be so mad at me, and I'm
All
sorry
right,
for that.
so at the 420 mark, I'm going to ask you guys a question on the Facebook interactive side. It's going to be a real easy one for everybody to answer. Hopefully, you guys have been paying attention to the show, and we will, and the K-Kid side, we'll give you the phone number, and you guys will be able to call and answer the same question on that side too. Now, this is going to be an exciting event, guys. This is September 23rd. That's at Smoky River Entertainment District. Headliners Paul Wall. You got 77 Jefferson. Yeah, Making Movies is there. Maverick is there. All kinds of great people. It is going to be a blast.
You're going to be there?
Yeah.
We're going to be there.
I'm excited. I'm
going to be there.
I'm going to be co-hosting the event on stage. It's going to be a good time. I'd like to give a big shout out to Smoky River Entertainment District for allowing me to go up there with a lot of my veteran friends and talk about the veterans conversation, which is that veterans need a whole lot more cannabis in their lives, and to help them out because they've always been there for us, and we want to make sure.
And those veteran tickets are flying too, aren't they?
Yeah, dude, they're halfway gone at vettix.org. You guys, if you're a veteran, you can go over there and get free tickets to this event. All right, guys, get ready here. All right, are we about ready? How many seconds we got till 420?
40.
All right. So you guys have listened all about the event. Big shout out to Missouri Growers Cup, Nathan Marsh, the president, bringing this kind of dope culture here to the state of Missouri. I almost said dope ass culture, and now I realize I can. Nathan, thank you for bringing that dope ass culture to Missouri. All right, so folks, the K-Kid line is going to be 573-364-4433. That's 573-364-4433. And you guys are going to answer the same question I'm about to ask the Facebook social folks, and that is the first person to type in or call us with how many seconds I got?
You're done.
Who is the headliner for the show? Who's the headliner for the show? Type that down to get VIP tickets. Give us a call, 573-364-4433. That's going to get you those free tickets. All
and
right.
Don't put in Waxy.
No, I am not the headliner.
I know this.
Thing.
So during this little part, I'll tell you guys one of the things that I'm going to announce today is we got another headline.
Oh, no.
Really?
Oh, we have an announcement coming. But first, let's give a big shout out. Justin, who do we have as our winner on the
Looks like the first one to get through is Craig Graham.
All right. We're still looking for that K-Kid caller, 573-364-4433. That's going to get you free tickets, VIP tickets to this. Congratulations, Craig Graham, over on the social side for winning those VIP tickets.
Yeah.
Big shout out to all those cats. All right, who's our caller here, Steve? Let's check it out. You got K-Kid, you got Waxy. What's cracking? Who is this?
What's up? How about Paul Walsh?
All right, who do I have here?
This Roxanne.
Roxanne, you know what? I'm going to give a big shout out, Roxanne, for you always listening to the show. Appreciate you very much, and you got those VIP tickets. Hit me up on those socials and or up here.
We know how to get a hold of her.
We'll get a hold of her. I got a couple Roxannes on here. All right.
Thanks, guys.
All right, appreciate you guys very much. All right, we are going to take a break. Big shout out to Smoky River Entertainment District and Missouri Growers Cup for giving away those VIP tickets. We are going to be right back. Big shout out also to Christy from Growing Healthcare. Christy, before we dive off, how can people follow you on your socials?
At Growing Healthcare 420.
Growing Healthcare 420. All right, guys, make sure you guys check it out. We dig it. And appreciate that very much. Hey, Christy, we're excited to see you judge this cup. It's going to be a dope session with you.
Yeah, I'm super excited. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Nathan. Thank you to everybody. I'm very excited. And yes, FICO, we need to have more conversation about that soon.
That's what I'm talking about. All right, folks, when we get back, we're going to have Vinny from Veterans Community Project. We're going to go to a break. You guys are listening to Waxy Brown's Flower Power Hour with Nathan Marsh, a Growers Cup, Missouri Growers Cup, happening September 23rd. We'll be right back, y'all.
Hell yeah.
following winds. Reveille is finally available. Learn more at getyourshipright.com.
At Robust, we think it's only right you know how the flower you enjoy is cared for and grown. Our process begins by hand-selecting premium genetics for our mother plants. The plants are then cloned and grown to become the strains offered by Robust, like Cali Raisins and Brunch Punch. One of our core growing principles is feed the soil to feed the plant. That's why everything on our facility is grown in living soil, a unique combination of beneficial microbes, worms, and nutrients. Our plants are grown in a high-tech greenhouse built specifically for cannabis. We use the sun's natural light when it's available and supplement with premium LEDs when needed. Every pot at Robust is hand-watered and cared for by individuals on our team of passionate cultivators every single day, so there's always eyes on the plant. Not only that, but Robust is the only kind certified facility in the state of Missouri. Think organic, but for growing cannabis. After 8 to 9 weeks in the grow room, depending on the strain, the flower is ready to be harvested. The plants are chopped and hung to dry in a humidity-controlled room. This process is what brings out the aromas and flavor profile of each distinct strain. After 10 to 14 days of drying, the trichome-covered buds are ready to be cured and set aside for trimming. Once our team hand trims and manicures every bud to remove the imperfections, the cannabis is meticulously weighed and put into our iconic Robust Red, fully recyclable packaging and heat sealed to ensure freshness. And that's what you're about to try now, because even though you know Robust cannabis is sustainable, organic, and all natural, you can't understand the hype until you try it yourself.
Attention veterans. Do you identify with one or all of the following? Do you have a bad back and bad knees? Have you ever been constipated from eating MREs? Have you ever done an officer's job for them? Have you ever pissed in a Gatorade bottle? Have you ever almost died in a 150-degree porta potty? If so, then you are entitled to tickets to this event. With your hosts, Paul Wall and Guy Yobi Lum, Waxy Brown, and Cannabis. The 2023 Missouri Growers Cup and Veterans Appreciation Event. Get your free tickets at vettix.org while they last. September 23rd, just outside Kansas City at Smokey River Entertainment District. Come join Waxy Brown and other veterans at this unique event. Space Force is welcome to attend as well. Bring the aliens.
At BesaMe Wellness, we're all about supporting the health and well-being of our community. With a wide selection of locally curated medical marijuana products, we'll help find what works best for you. Don't have a card? Let us help navigate the application process. And if you can't make it to one of our 5 convenient locations, we'll even deliver to your door. Visit us in-store or online at besamewellness.com.
The secrets of Kung Fu are founded on 5 elements. Focus, remain like a cobra ready to strike. Energy, be like a volcano overflowing with energy. Endurance, be as water, continue to flow, matching the vibe.
Huh?
Get in the zone. Getting weird. Let your freak flag fly high. Wait, this isn't the secrets of Kung Fu. It's what happens when you take Captain Crossfade.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Waxy Brown's Flower Power Hour. Brought to you live from the Robust Cannabis Studios at K-Kid 92.9, right here in the heart of the Grozarks, and that's what we are talking about is a grow-off.
Yeah,
Nathan, walk us through this just a little bit, man. I'm going to show up September 23rd at Missouri at the Missouri Growers Cup, Smokey River Entertainment District. Now, I'm not there to submit. I'm there for the concert. I'm there for the vibes. What am I going to experience that day at Smokey River with what you guys are throwing down?
Well, that's actually a good segue because I did want to mention how what a big deal this is of who we're partnering with. You know, Smokey River Entertainment District, they're really kind of bringing together all the things, you know, the cannabis, beer garden, food trucks, vendors, art, giveaways, swag, judging, you know, award ceremony is a big one, obviously, and then all this talent. I mean, it's actually funny because, you know, with all these great artists, it's like, man, even if we were just coming to see the show, this would be a great show.
Dude,
not to mention, and especially when I announced, you know, the other thing today. But it's, I think, Craig won. Sorry, he's excited he won. No, I think that this is really a unique opportunity to kind of be trailblazing, and I've been blessed to be one of the people that has trailblazed some events in Oregon and elsewhere, and I love people that think outside of the box and are trying to be the tip of the sword of the evolution of where this is going, and really Smokey River is that. I mean, that's 100% who these guys are, and this they're I guess just great people to work with. The integrity, you know, them just really. I mean, one of the things I was really surprised is that, you know, in Oregon we get some brands that are like, oh, I hate these guys because they're a competitor, and then, you know, and we're always kind of fighting that community. Like, hey guys, this is a community. It doesn't need to be. And these guys are all community. They don't have any egos. And so I think what you're seeing is two great, worlds coming together in one great venue. And this venue, I think, is got a huge future for Missouri and Kansas City area as it gets built, because it's just beginning. This is just the beginning, and we really expect to be a staple every year in September, to come back and do this every year and be the cup that people respect. And when you go into a dispensary and you see somebody that won an award, you're going to know it was because they earned it.
And I'll tell you something too, like it feels like a legacy play. This feels like an event that's just going to keep on coming at us every year in a great way, with lots of growth. I do want to say the team behind this, they're not what you'd expect from a big cannabis team. They just aren't. Like you said, they're dripping in culture. That just a big shout out to them for doing that. But here's the real truth: Smoky River Entertainment District's dope. But so are the people who run their counters every day at BesaMe Wellness. They're bud tenders, they're growers, and they're cultivators, and they're extract experts at Smoky River Cannabis. It's a team that I don't think if they did anything that they'd do it half-ass.
No.
I think it's pretty wild to watch them work and bring these vibes, because I don't have the ability to build out a giant amphitheater. Someone with a lot of money and respect for our culture came through for us and are providing, and man, it is a bananas environment, and I'm excited about it.
Thanks, Jack.
Well, and finding people too that are contributing to the community, not just trying to suck off of it, right? And actually help build it with us, and the right visions and the right intentions. Yeah, it's awesome, and we wouldn't partner with anybody else, so it's really cool.
Yeah, I'm reading over here on the Facebook side. Brandon Jones said one of them is a performer too, Nathan Dresfield. That's true. You can catch Nathan performing live. He as If I Die in Iceland, which I think is one of the coolest hip hop names I've ever heard in my life. I got to know the history there. And Nathan will be on the show next week with the Besa team. That'll be a lot of fun.
Nice.
Well, and it turns out that Craig, the guy that won the tickets, the event is like the week before his birthday. So it's his 40th birthday present now to get VIP tickets to the show, which is going to be awesome.
Happy birthday, bro. You deserve it, man. Thanks for tuning in to all of you. And next week, we're going to also be giving away a bunch of tickets. I'm not sure. The ones I've got for next week, I don't believe are VIP, but this whole event is VIP. Let's be real about it. Right. Like if you're here and you're experiencing what they've got laid out for us, it's going to be a blast. I do want to take a quick second here. Let me see the time here. Yeah. So I do want to give a big shout out to that squad too, because they're allowing me to go up there as the co-host and talk about veterans and why it's important for veterans to have more access to cannabis. And I've got some really great people who are going to be up there with me. We're going to have Chris Wolfensbarger, a good friend of the show. Chris has got a great story, man. He was in. I've seen the footage firsthand. He was crazy. He was blown up, yeah, man, in a Humvee, and some lives were lost. And Chris is a combat medic, and so he brought a lot of that with his heart back home with him, just like a lot of veterans do. His story is wonderful, and so is what he's doing with the not-for-profit sector as well. I'll have Todd Scatini there speaking.
Good dude too.
Yeah, love Todd. Yeah. Those two form Hemp for Victory. It's like the Hemp Voltron for us veterans, man. They formed, I love it. But Hemp for Victory is going to be there, and that's going to be pretty bananas. We're going to love that too. We've also got Vinny from Veterans Community Project is going to be there. They have the tiny homes that they've got veterans in St. Louis. He's going to be on the show in just a few minutes to talk about the growth that they've got going on. It's going to be bananas. And then I also have George Biswell, man. He's going to be on stage with me as well. George and I share a lot of love for the radio and a lot of, and we're veterans. So we're going to go up there and we're going to talk about that together. And he's also a big proponent of NORML and has really been with that organization and shined a light and advocacy and activism his whole life. So what a wild time it's going to be. I want to give a great big shout out to the BesaMe team and show my complete gratitude for allowing us to be able to have that conversation. So it's going to be pretty wild.
Hey, are we done doing those reviews on all those dabs?
Yeah,
man, I'm just like getting recovered.
We haven't released them all yet, though. Yes.
Yeah, we haven't done, man.
Yeah, Nathan Marsh, have you had any Smoky River cannabis yet?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I was able to sample quite a bit last time I was there.
You said quite a bit.
I'm going to have to resample a bunch of stuff here next week when I come back.
Right, we'll resample it right here on the show. We did seven different concentrates for them on some reviews that we did, and we are all still a little bit high from that. That was like a couple weeks ago. So we are releasing those every Friday on the Flower Power Hour, I believe. That's right, Justin?
Yep, on the Facebook page and the interactive page, 420 every week, we'll drop a different strain. And as soon as I get some free time, I'll start cutting together the blooper reel from these guys doing like 6 huge dabs back to back to back to back. It was, I was crying. My lungs hurt. I was laughing so hard watching you guys.
Now, Nathan Marsh does these cups and all these judging and all that. Now, Nathan, don't think that when we say review, that we're doing a whole bunch of extracts and then we're giving you a legitimate review. It's a review like REVUE, like a show, and we have fun doing it. Don't think we're legitimate over here. We are not. Okay.
Right.
Totally amateur here.
So I got a question for you guys. Do you prefer solventless, or BHO?
Oh, we're solventless people here.
You guys like press
Steve
stuff?
put his headphones on that. Steve, do you prefer solventless or
a rosin or a resin? A rosin.
Yeah, we try to learn. We try to learn, but honestly, we love it all. But we do appreciate clean, good medicine. But I prefer solventless, of course. That's where it's all going, right, Nathan?
It does seem to be that way. I mean, it's funny. Everybody thinks that, I do a cup that I would be this really connoisseur, but I'm actually the guy. I'm like, I like apples. Some apples are better than others, but I just love apples, right? So that's why I'm not a judge also, is I can't be, I'm the guy who loves everybody and everything, so I can't do that. Yeah. But it is definitely seen that industry is kind of, we've got a really robust dab industry in Oregon, and it looks like you guys do too.
Well, yeah, it's getting
better.
Yeah, we really are. It's been Missouri's doing its thing. I'm excited to see these judges do their thing. I know Growing Healthcare. I've followed her for a long time. She's going to tell you exactly what she thinks of it and give a great rating. And it's blind, so it's going to be a lot of fun.
We need to get her to be in your blunt rolling contestant too.
Okay,
I think she can. I'll bet she can roll a good blunt.
I'm sure she could. I'm sure she could smoke you under the table.
Oh yeah, I guarantee you.
Put the light on you. I'm not going head to head with Christy. No way.
Right? No doubt.
All right, well, we better take a break, and when we get back, I'm going to have Vinny on from Veterans Community Project. They're the ones doing the tiny homes. We've got a really cool announcement. Hold on one second, folks. Before we go, Nathan, you had an announcement you wanted to make.
I do, and again, we're going to be publicly announcing this, I guess, right now. But I'm making an executive decision on this because it won't hit our main channels until tomorrow. But there's a band that we got to come. That we're adding as a headliner also, and it is Pacifier.
Yeah, Pacifier.
Pacifier.
Yeah.
So, and they actually tour out here a lot, and awesome reggae roots band. I love these guys. They're awesome.
Very cool. The vibes on this party are going to be intense, dude. Like
immaculate.
Man, I don't know if they could do better. I say that, and then you watch what they do again and again and again and again, and you're like, forget about it. They got it going on. All right, Nathan, we're going to bring you right back. Folks, when we get back, we're going to talk about veterans. We're going to talk about small houses, and we're going to make an announcement about Smoky River Entertainment District and how this education's going places. Folks, you're listening to Waxy Brown's Flower Power Hour. We're brought to you live from the Robust Cannabis Studios at K-Kid 92.9.
At Robust, we think it's only right you know how the flower you enjoy is cared for and grown. Our process begins by hand-selecting premium genetics for our mother plants. The plants are then cloned and grown to become the strains offered by Robust, like Cali Raisins and Brunch Punch. One of our core growing principles is feed the soil to feed the plant. That's why everything on our facility is grown in living soil, a unique combination of beneficial microbes, worms, and nutrients. Our plants are grown in a high-tech greenhouse built specifically for cannabis. We use the sun's natural light when it's available and supplement with premium LEDs when needed. Every pot at Robust is hand-watered and cared for by individuals on our team of passionate cultivators every single day, so there's always eyes on the plant. Not only that, but Robust is the only kind certified facility in the state of Missouri. Think organic, but for growing cannabis. After 8 to 9 weeks in the grow room, depending on the strain, the flower is ready to be harvested. The plants are chopped and hung to dry in a humidity-controlled room. This process is what brings out the aromas and flavor profile of each distinct strain. After 10 to 14 days of drying, the trichome-covered buds are ready to be cured and set aside for trimming. Once our team hand trims and manicures every bud to remove the imperfections, the cannabis is meticulously weighed and put into our iconic Robust Red, fully recyclable packaging and heat sealed to ensure freshness. And that's what you're about to try now, because even though you know Robust cannabis is sustainable, organic, and all natural, you can't understand the hype until you try it yourself.
At BesaMe Wellness, we're all about supporting the health and well-being of our community. With a wide selection of locally curated medical marijuana products, we'll help find what works best for you. Don't have a card? Let us help navigate the application process. And if you can't make it to one of our 5 convenient locations, we'll even deliver to your door. Visit us in-store or online at BesaMeWellness.com.
and following winds. Reveille is finally available. Learn more at getyourshipright.com.
At BesaMe Wellness, we're all about supporting the health and well-being of our community. With a wide selection of locally curated medical marijuana products, we'll help find what works best for you. Don't have a card? Let us help navigate the application process. And if you can't make it to one of our 5 convenient locations, we'll even deliver to your door. Visit us in-store or online at BesaMeWellness.com.
Hey, everybody, welcome back to Waxy Brown's Flower Power Hour, brought to you live from the robust Cannabis Studios at KKID 92.9. We are doing our Smoky River Entertainment Show. This is for the Missouri Growers Cup. Folks, if you've dug what we've been talking about, that shindig is happening September 23rd. It's going to be dope. I expect I don't know if there's a cap on tickets, but if there is, it'll sell out. I know it will.
Guaranteed.
Yeah, it's gonna be bananas. I'd like to
You're really stuck on bananas today.
Bananas.
He wasn't even in here for that.
Yeah. Hey, so check it out. So we appreciate Nathan March, the president of Missouri Growers Cup, for co-hosting the show. Nathan, have you heard of the Veterans Community Project?
I have not.
All right, we're going to tell you all about it. We got Vinny on the show from the Veterans Community Project. Vinny, welcome back, my brother.
Hey, Waxy, how you doing today?
Always good. You won't catch me slipping, man. Hey, so check this out, Vinny. Before we go any further about what you do here, let's talk about why we do what we do, which is go around and talk about veterans, cannabis, housing. Why is it that you wake up in the morning and this is the most important thing to you, brother?
I wake up every day and think about servicing with my brothers and sisters. One, because I'm a veteran, Army veteran at that. Two, because the word homeless and veteran shouldn't be together.
Yeah.
And, that's our mission here at Veterans Community Project. You know, veterans housing, veterans armed with the strength and support of the community. And we are blessed to be 7 years into this project. Started here in Kansas City, Missouri, right off of 89th and Troost. Yeah, 49 tiny homes, and we're just chugging away. We have an 81% success ratio when it comes to transitional housing. That's double the national average. And with the success that we've had here, we've been able to expand the program across the nation. Within the next 30 days, we're looking at housing veterans in Longmont, Colorado, as well as St. Louis, Missouri, and Sioux Falls, South Dakota. So it's really been a labor of love, and to see the community support us, every community, the cannabis community, the veteran community, just everybody out there. It's amazing to see the overwhelming support for our support and service.
Vinny, I want to ask you a question before we get too deep into what we're going to do at Smoky River here. I want to ask you what it feels like for you personally when you see, because you see it a lot with an 81% success rate. You're seeing it a lot. What does that feel like? Because I can't imagine you become jaded to the joy that comes from a situation like that. What's the feeling for you like? Because I know you're a humble man, and I appreciate that, but I want to know what that feels like in your heart.
Sometimes it's still very surreal. For me, sometimes I'm back in the military. I'm back to being Sergeant Morales, those things. And I look at it, and now we fast forward, service is over, boots are hung up, all that's done with. And I never thought, being a combat engineer, for those who are listening, that's demolitions and explosives, right? Getting blown up and translating those skills over to becoming a social worker and being a part of this movement. I never thought that we would be here. And it's deeply personal to me, because that, whether it's one veteran or every veteran, the fact that we are changing individuals' lives and moving into permanent stability lets me know that promises I made to my brothers and sisters, that I'm fulfilling them, that I am, the war on terror did not win. I couldn't find terror. I went over there to kick his ass a couple times, couldn't find it. But, we came back home, and we were definitely making sure that war on terror did not win. We're here to support each other. And it's amazing. Every time we transition a veteran on to permanent housing, we encourage them to come back, to share their success, but truly just to be a part of the community. A lot of us are just missing that community, just to be around like-minded individuals. It's amazing, very surreal, very, very fulfilling, and it's something that I'm blessed to be a part of.
Very cool. I want to thank you again for because I know your time is very precious, for coming on the show and talking about this. I want to give a big thank you because Vinny, I want to thank you first off for what you do, what you did for our country, what you still do for our country, and what you do for our service brothers and sisters. But I also want to extend a thank you, and I think you'll join me in thanking Smoky River Entertainment District, the Growers Cup, for giving us a voice and letting us do some good education out there. So big thank you to those guys out there.
I actually wanted to tell as well. I want to say thank you to you, actually, brother. You've been amazing since I've met you in the cannabis space, in the veteran space. You've been amazing, and putting, the Veterans Community Project, the veterans community in general in the forefront of that change. It's amazing. And, truly, Veterans Community Project, I would not be sitting here right now if it wasn't for you and, as you said, Smokey River. So thank everybody who was a part of that and gives us the opportunity to showcase the power of what we do and the power of cannabis.
Appreciate that very much. Hey, Nathan. So I got a cool one for you, man. Vinny called me about a little less than a week ago. Brandon Jones and Vinny called me. Brandon was on the line too, man. Big shout out to the Boost man, and for putting us together on this one. But he called me and he said, man, I'd sure love to do something special at Smokey River for September 23rd for the people and give a little education. Vinny, let's tell Nathan and the Missouri Growers Cup team what you're going to do.
So September 23rd, we will be out there in full force. And by full force, I mean, we will be bringing out a tiny home so individuals can tour it. Kind of what our project does for a little context there. You can't see the avatar, but behind me on a fake screen there is a picture of our tiny houses. 240 square feet of luxurious living. All amenities are in there. So you have your kitchenette. It's kind of a barrack style. The house model itself is truly the magic of our program. And we will be out there at Smokey River, and we will be giving tours of the tiny home.
That's so cool. Yeah, and we're honored to host you guys and bring some awareness, because for us, it's like not only the veterans, but people like you, I mean, that step up to provide this help. I mean, I think that's kind of one of the things too with the cannabis community is we are a community and we all have to band together to bring us higher together. And you're the embodiment of that. So applaud to you. Oh yeah.
Thanks for that, Nathan. I want to, for our listeners out there, one of the reasons we do this is because we do have a high suicide rate in the veteran community. And a lot, the number that they throw around is 22 veterans a day. I believe, and we believe on this show, and Vinny, you'll probably agree with me that number is a whole lot higher than what they tell us when you start to talk about opioids, alcoholism, the stress environments of, say, not having an environment to live in. All that can lead down different roads. Vinny, can you touch on that just a second and tell us a little bit about that? Why we do this kind of thing?
Oh, 100%. We have the burn pits. That's kind of the global war on terror is our generation. That's kind of one of our ailments, one of our bigger issues. But the suicide epidemic is just as relevant and a bigger issue. We've lost in direct combat between 5,500 soldiers, and since that number has doubled via suicide. So we're looking at about 15,000 veterans who have removed themselves from the situation. That is triple what we lost in combat. Why is that? What does that look like, and how do we stop that? Whether it's the opioid epidemic or community, for me and my journey and where I'm at in life, it's community. It's bringing individuals together, and a lot of it truly is cannabis, because it sparks conversation and it also helps individuals. I'm one of those individuals. I was hurt, and did what I have to do as a good government soldier, and took what I had to take and moved on and continued on mission. And then years later, you see yourself kind of being reliant on those issues. And cannabis has helped me personally move from that. So if I can spread that mission out there and save one of my brothers and sisters' lives from suicide and/or an overdose, then brother, I'm all for it. And we can smoke up together, eat together, whatever that looks like.
I'm about it. I'll be smoking on stage. You can bet. And Vinny, I'd like to extend a heartfelt thank you and also offer a space for you on that stage September 23rd to speak about Veterans Community Project and what you guys have going on, and talk about the home there as well, if you're able.
Oh, 100%, 100%. As long as I can smoke with you, that's my only stipulation to that.
Absolutely. So
I don't know if you want to do that. That's not your standard issue smoke session there, Vinny.
It's all good. Hey, I want to give a big shout out to the other speakers that we've got. We've got Vinny from Veterans Community Project. We also have Todd Scatini from Hemp for Victory. We also have Chris Wolfensbarger, our friend from Hemp for Victory. And these guys, when I say from one organization, what I mean to say is that they do that and so many other cool things, man. So many good things for our community. And then we'll have George Biswell on stage as well, the can evangelist, the veteran, and also a radio head like myself. So it's going to be a really, really good time. And once again, while I got Vinny here and Nathan, the Missouri's Growers Cup didn't have to make that a big part of this event. They didn't have to. This would have been wild without it. If you guys hadn't have done all the veteran stuff and offered 500 free tickets to the vets and been able to put Vinny's tiny home in there, it still would have been one of the coolest events that Missouri's ever seen. But because you guys are allowing us to do that and allowing us to step on that stage and be the veterans that we are and talk about these things with the people, I want to say thank you, because that couldn't necessarily have happened without all your help. And every one of those veterans in that crowd that day, they got those free tickets. They're going to have a wonderful time, and they're going to get our energy and Vinny's energy and Todd's and George's and Chris's, all of our energy poured directly into them when they need it the most. So big shout out to Smoky River Entertainment District and Nathan Marsh with the Missouri Growers Cup for allowing us to do this.
Absolutely. And I really think, the veterans is a perfect example of what we talked about earlier, of that spectrum of cannabis that can help you physically and mentally at different stages. And it's a miracle plant. It brings people together and helps people. And I think it's awesome that the veterans can also bring awareness to that and also be helped by it. So it's amazing. And we're glad to have you guys.
Hey, Vinny, somebody asked how they can support the Tiny Homes Project and all the good work that you guys do. So can you tell our listeners where they can help you out and find you and support you?
100%. Please hop on the web, veteranscommunityproject.org. All one word, veteranscommunityproject.org. If you want to do the thing where kind of Vinny does there, where you just type the buttons, just type in VCP, a Google search will take you to our page. But veteranscommunityproject.org gives the layout. Donate. We truly, we are privately funded. When we decided to take that model because we did not want Big Brother telling us who we can and cannot serve. Big Brother told all of us, for more than enough years what we can and cannot do. So we are privately funded. We truly run off volunteerism. We run very lean, but we've also learned that creating that unique interaction between our brothers and sisters and our veterans, it's amazing, because individuals can say, I helped build that home. I helped in veterans and homelessness. So that's really part of our model. But veteranscommunityproject.org, please give us a look.
Wild stuff. You guys check that out. Vinny, hey, thanks again for your service, brother, and your continued service to our veterans to this day, brother.
Hey, thank you very much for having me, and thank all. Truly, I cannot say how excited I am to be working in the space with you all. Just for real quick context, about 6 months ago, I was kind of I wasn't in the scene of the cannabis community. Todd Scatini, as we spoke, and Hemp for Victory, squared it away and has introduced me, and the community has opened myself as well as veterans with open arms. So thank you all very much.
Absolutely.
Beautiful stuff. Thank you so much, Vinny. Hey, guys, we're down to just a few seconds. Nathan Marsh, I want to appreciate you very much for coming on the show and co-hosting us. Yeah, and we'll catch you next week. We're going to have Nathan and Gaio Bilo on the show. It's going to be a blast from Netflix. And you guys, it's going to be a dope show. Make sure you guys check this out, SmokyRiverEntertainmentDistrict.com, the Missouri Growers Cup. How long do I got, Steve?
15 seconds.
All right. Big shout out to everybody. Make sure you guys check it out. Guys, It's been a blast. A great collection of guests there we've had. I want to give a big shout out to Route 66 Labs for producing the online side of everything, guys. You're listening to Waxy Brown's Flower Power Hour. We're brought to you live from the Robust Cannabis Studios at K-Kid 92.9. Hey, Crayon Organics too. What's up, y'all?
We'll see you there.
See you next week, everybody.